What's going on YouTube? My name is John, and today I'm coming to you guys with a blank white wall behind me, and we're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be playing the 3-word game. This is a game that I stolen from the Herd with Colin Cowherd. The way it works is that Colin would usually describe a bunch of things in a set using 3 words, only 3 words, and he'd usually go through and describe, say, each team in the playoffs using 3 words, but we're going to play this game with zombies. We're going to go today and describe each Treyarch Zombies map using only 3 words. Let's begin. We're going to kick things off with Knocked. I would describe Knocked as watch your back. This map is plain and simple. There isn't much in it, and there isn't much to it. You have a few doors and a mystery box, no perks. It's very unforgiving. Watch your back. You don't have Jug, you don't have shields, one mistake, and you're doomed. There's a reason getting to round 15 or 20 on this map is actually halfway impressive. Next on the list, Verrückt. For Verrückt, I'd say split the group. One of my favorite parts about this map is that when you're playing multiplayer, it takes the team and splits them. One half on one side, one half on the other. And you don't meet again until you turn on the power. This was great because it was the perfect introduction to power to the players. As soon as the players received power, they then received the perks, they were reunited, and everything came together. I think this was one of the best ideas they've ever had in Zombies, and they need to integrate it more. Shinonuma, breaking high rounds. Shinonuma has some incredible records on it. You have 1337. You have people going to over 2,000 plus on Shinonuma. And it's real simple. Shinonuma only allowed for 24 zombies on the map at a time, and you had a Wunderwaffe as well as traps that allowed you to quickly dispatch a single round of zombies. And you also had the dogs coming in every 5 rounds to give you a max ammo, and also just to be a real breeze of a round. This map really redefined what rounds we're able to get to. This map absolutely broke high rounds. Deriz, where it all began. Deriz, sure, isn't the first Zombies map ever, and it's also not the first map with a story to it. We had a little bit of a story in Verrückt, and then we really started to get our characters in Shinonuma, but all of that didn't come together until Deriz. This is the first map that I think really launched the community into something greater. We realized there was a story to discover. We began theorizing. We're hunting for radios. We're hunting for Easter eggs. I feel like this is where the zombie community really all began, and so did the story. Kinonuma, your first time. You never forget your first time. It holds a special place in your heart, and that's where Kino Der Toten exists for me. It was the first Zombies map I ever played, and Black Ops 4 broke records when it sold, and I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of the community's first exposure to Zombies was Kino Der Toten. This to me felt like when Zombies went mainstream, and it's going to always hold a special place in my heart as the first map I ever played. 5? Let's play Kino. Let's be honest, this map sucked when it launched. Nobody liked it. It was pretty difficult. You'd finish up a game of 5, you'd die at round 5, and you'd say to your friends, let's just play Kino. That shit's a lot more fun, it's a lot easier, it has cooler wonder weapons. Let's be honest, 5 was the ugly step sibling to Kino Der Toten. Every game of 5 ended with people saying, let's play Kino. Ascension, zombies on easy. Yeah, this map is a noob's best friend. Grab PhD flopper, start dolphin diving off of the awning, and you are invincible. It's easy as that. Anybody can play Ascension. I feel like even my friends back before was a Zombies YouTuber and we just play Zombies for fun. I was one of the better players in that group, but they weren't as good, and they'd always loved to play Ascension because it was easy. You had a thunder gun, you had PhD flopper, you can dolphin dive for days. It was a perfect map for new players. Call of the Dead, fog rolling in. This map had the amazing idea of blinding you just at random points in the map by rolling in fog. And it's just like, why, Treyarch? Why did you think fog rolling in was a good idea? I don't really know, but they thought it was such a great idea they decided to bring it back. But you have to give a shout out to Call of the Dead for introducing fog rolling in. Shangri-La, aged like wine. For some reason, this map seems to have really grown on the community. Now, I've often been a big fan of Shangri-La. I like it because it's tight, it's challenging, it has one of the best wonder weapons ever, the atmosphere is gorgeous, there's a lot going on for it. But the community definitely did not like this map when it first came out. I mean, you had some crackers at the beginning of Black Ops 1. You had Kino Der Toten, you had Ascension, you had Call of the Dead, all big hits. Then we had Shangri-La, this tight, confined map that the community hated. However, slowly, it's grown on us and aged like wine. Moon, I'm in space. I felt like making a Portal reference with this one. I have a lot I can say about Moon. I find it unforgiving. I like it a lot. It's adventurous. It also has a really cool Easter egg ending, but it drives me insane sometimes. I couldn't think of 3 great words to describe Moon, so I went with I'm in space and decided to make a Portal reference. Transit, Bus Route B. Never before have we had a map so barren with such a terrible Easter egg that we spent 3 to 4 months trying to find an Easter egg that didn't exist. People went nuts for Bus Route B, and I think it was a great summation of everything wrong with Transit. It was this map that felt like there was more to it, but was just empty. And then as people began searching, we latched onto ideas like Bus Route B, only to then further be let down as there was nothing to be found. Nuketown, the sky's falling. This map has one of the most interesting perk systems we've ever seen. Perks falling from the sky at random. Sometimes this map is really easy. You get Juggernog right away and you're coasting. Sometimes you find yourself waiting until round 15 to get the perks to fall down. And that really changes the dynamic of how you play. Sometimes you can start off and it's coasting. Other times you really do need to survive without Jug for 15 rounds, which I know all of you watching are zombie pros, but trust me when I say is easier said than done sometimes. Die Rise, remaster, you cowards. Treyarch are a bunch of cowards who refuse to remaster one of the greatest maps of all time. I get it. You guys made one of the greatest maps of all time, and it's scary to remaster such an amazing map. What if it's not as good as the original and the community hates you for it? I know, but Treyarch, it's time for you to put on your big boy pants and remaster Die Rise already, you cowards. Mob of the Dead, How to Experiment 101. This map is a real treat to play, and it's different from every Zombies map because it has a unique revive system. Technically, you can have unlimited revives in Call of the Dead. You have the Afterlife system, which allowed you to not only have unlimited revives and also was a refresh to how we played Zombies, but also allowed you to explore things and change the way you played. There's some really interesting ways you can take advantage of Afterlife to make the map more efficient, and all around, Mob of the Dead is a fine example of how to experiment. It introduced a new revive system. It gave us a small, confined story that sure played a part in our larger story, but at the time just felt like its own little offshoot story that we couldn't even really place. They did so much new in this map, and it worked out perfectly. Sometimes we give Treyarch shit for experimenting. For example, a lot of people don't like the new perk system, but let Mob of the Dead serve as a reminder that sometimes it's okay for Treyarch to experiment, and it'll work out perfectly. Next, we have Buried. Didn't even move. When I made it to round 50 on Buried, I found myself sitting in a hallway for 50 straight rounds without moving. I just tapped the trigger every so often and allowed the paralyzer to work its magic. It's one of the easiest maps we've ever seen in Zombies. So easy I can make it to round 50 without even moving. Origins, it's a reboot in disguise. Origins, for whatever reason, never really caught the community as a reboot when it first came out. I mean, part of it may have been just because we didn't know exactly where the story was going, but this map, looking back on it now, is a total reboot. We have a fresh set of characters in premise, we have a relatively new story, and then that reboot opened the door to everything from the Keepers and the Apothicons, and Zombies was never the same after Origins. It was a reboot in disguise. Shadows of Evil, you like jazz? Treyarch really went for a stylistic approach with this map. They wanted everything to feel fresh, and it definitely did that. It let Black Ops 3 define itself, and it had this jazz-inspired realm in Morgue City, and I absolutely loved it. DE, best map ever. Now, I don't know if this is actually true that DE is the best map ever. You guys can debate that in the comments, but it sure does feel like it, reading what people say online. People love this map, and it's a good map, and sure, it might not be the best map ever, but I think no other map has received such acclaim other than DE. So to me, I'd say best map ever. Zetsubo, I didn't know what to say about Zetsubo. I have a lot of thoughts on Zetsubo. So I figure the best thing to do is just ask Twitter. And Milo pretty much summed up my thoughts perfectly. He said, Zetsubo is map. And actually, before I had even placed that tweet, I just typed in, it's a map. Like, yeah, it's got features. It's a little buggy, interesting Easter egg, but it's a map. And I think Milo summed it up perfectly when he said, Zetsubo is map. Garad Krovi, nothing jumps out. I'm doubling down. I got roasted by some zombie YouTubers, one who apparently doesn't even want to be associated with zombies, and have decided to double down and say nothing jumps out at me about Garad Krovi. Not even the fact that our characters jump out of a portal at the beginning of it jumps out at me. I'm doubling down on my stance on GK. Nothing jumps out. Do we have next Revelations? A fucking clip show. Revelations is just a clip show. Oh, remember Shangri-La? Remember Kino Der Toten? Remember DE? A map that's already in this fucking game? Revelations is just a clip show. And just like every clip show, nobody wants to watch a clip show. Nobody wants to play Revelations. 9. Treyarch just showing off. I feel like this is Treyarch at their best. 9 is an absolute beauty. This map is amazing. It's gorgeous. The atmosphere, the scenery, the crowd. This is Treyarch's craft at its finest. I feel like Treyarch really just wanted to flex on the community with this map. Voyage of Despair, The Forgotten Child. It seems like when Black Ops 3 first launched, we were all enamored by 9. We were gripped by the ending to Blood of the Dead, and we were captivated by how to solve the classified Easter egg. And then there was Voyage. It was The Forgotten Child. It's a cool map. There's a lot going on. I think it actually might be one of my favorite launch maps we've gotten in Zombies, but it was definitely forgotten by the community. I feel like once the Easter egg was solved, nobody ever talked about this map. Of all 4 maps that come out at launch, this one is easily The Forgotten Child. Mob of the Blood of the Dead, the nicest one. I don't think any other moment in Zombies has ever struck an emotional chord with its fan base like Blood of the Dead. You had Richtofen there dying. He was always the one in control. He was the step ahead of the curve, and something happened that he could not prepare for, he could not get out of. He had to sacrifice his life for the group to escape. And to him, it wasn't fair. He was the nicest one. And we had to watch Richtofen die and suffer. And it was a moment in Zombies that I don't think any of us were ready for. It is one of the most emotional moments in Zombies and one of the peaks in storytelling we've ever seen across Call of Duty. Classified? What goddamn round? You're telling me I have to get to round 250? No, scratch that. 150? I need to get to round 115? What fucking round do I need to go to activate this clip? And you mean to tell me that I need to get to a round that's absolutely impossible because the game keeps crashing? In order to see the ending cutscene, there is no main Easter egg quest? What fucking round do I need to go to? I feel like that was everybody's reaction to Classified when it first came out. It was kind of absurd. I mean, it was cool because finally the high rounders got something to strive for, and it wasn't just the Easter egg hunters having fun, but it just wasn't the same. It got ruined by the state of Black Ops 4 when it came out. The game was too broken for people to achieve this Easter egg, and I think it would have been absolutely amazing if some high rounder had organically found this Easter egg cutscene, but it got ruined, unfortunately. Dead of the Night, what is marketing? We're just going to drop a map out of the blue in Australia and then just quickly backtrack on everything and then release it everywhere. Marketing doesn't exist. Not in this world, no. I don't know what Treyarch was thinking with Dead of the Night. I think they wanted to surprise us. Maybe they felt that this game was such a train wreck that they're going to do something nice and just release a map out of the blue for us. And I think it ended up biting them in the butt because everybody was like, oh my god, this game has no marketing budget. Treyarch is absolutely floundering. This is a disgrace. How could they not tease it? No trailers, nothing. Yeah, what is marketing? Treyarch doesn't know when it comes to Dead of the Night. For Ancient Evil, we have Chaos Gets Good. This is when I feel like people really started to get captivated and gripped by the Chaos storyline. I mean, I'm interested in it. The plot twist for Medusa, I thought, was executed perfectly. We're starting to see Diego evolve as a character. We're starting to blur the lines of our crew versus the order, who's bad, who's good, all these questions we want answered. I really love what they're doing with Greek mythology. The gameplay of the map is superb. It was one of the best maps we could ask for during one of Zombies' darkest times. Chaos gets good with Ancient Evil. Lastly, we have Nuketown, and I just want to say, what's going on? I mean, where are we in the story? The gameplay for this map is fine. I think it's a passable Zombies map. But the story is where this map loses me. I would consider myself somebody who knows the zombie storyline really well. I mean, I've made hundreds of zombie storyline Q&As. And while I admit I haven't been following it as closely as I used to, I'm having a hard time figuring out what's going on in this story anymore. I mean, Reed and I debated for 20 minutes why Nikolai is the only one who hasn't gone through the cycle once. Some of the character conversations in this map are confusing. We're thinking about time in ways that we never have, in which everything in time happens at once. Like, that's mind-boggling for people who think of time as a linear thing. Then you just have the Great War. When's that supposed to be going on? Is it happening now? Is it going to happen in the future? Has it already happened? This map is just a big question mark sometimes when it comes to story. Like, we learn so much and then also have so many question marks. So to me, I think the best way to describe Alpha Omega is just, what's going on? So that, ladies and gentlemen, has been every Zombies map described using 3 words, or every Treyarch Zombies map. Tell me in the comments below, what 3 words would you use to describe each Zombies map down in the comments below. And if you have any good ones, maybe we'll feature them in a future video. I'm going to go. Have a wonderful day, and bye.